All right, guys, the Utah Jazz just won again. Looks like it's 2 in a row for this Utah Jazz team. Let's talk about it. It's the Hoops Nerd Postgame Show. All right, guys, the Utah Jazz get the nice win. I'm just sending out the tweet to let people know we're live. The Washington Wizards came to Utah to play the Jazz of Utah, and the Jazz won. The Jazz are really good. Tonight, the Jazz had Collin Sexton back. They had a really nice night from a certain rookie who's looking like a real steal for the Jazz. But before that, let's talk about the Washington Wizards. The Wizards, they had not had Bradley Beal for a little while, and they were on like a 7-game skid or something like that. Now that Bradley Beal's back, you can see why they were a team that had a pretty decent record to start the year. I can't remember. Let's see. Let's go to the standings here. By the way, let's bring up the display here. And how are the Wizards, by the way? 12-21. Okay, so they're not that good. That's after like a 7 or 8 game losing streak. So, you know, they were somewhat respectable. And then they lose Bradley Beal, and they went on a bad skid. They've lost now 2 of their last 3, but they did win one when Bradley Beal came back. And what Bradley Beal does for them is bring just a huge scoring punch. And that's what he had tonight. And tonight he was just ultra efficient. He didn't hit any threes, but 13 for 20 from 2, 65%. He scored 30 points. He was a +4 in a bad Wizards loss. So you can see what Bradley Beal brings to the floor. And then Kyle Kuzma, it was kind of like a tale of 2 halves for the Wizards. You had Kyle Kuzma in the first half just showing how versatile of an NBA player he is on offense, where he can just do so many different things, whether it's drive to the hoop, draw fouls. He initiates contact really well, which was something I saw. You know, those are the types of things that experienced players do. And Kyle Kuzma is right now in the midst of his prime. Looks like he's having a career year. Not looks like, he is having a career year this season. Tonight, 21 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. He's just a really nice offensive player. And honestly, he plays hard on defense. He has nice tools. So I can't remember if he has a player option on his contract. I'm kind of curious because maybe a guy. Let's just look it up. It looks like I already looked it up in the past, but he's going to have a player option, I believe, next season, and you can bet he's probably opting out. Yeah, 2023-24 player option. He's going to opt out, and he's going to get paid. Holy smokes, is he going to get paid? The question is, will the Wizards pay for him? This Wizards team it always feels like they're in that tough situation where, you know, you can't just let Bradley Beal walk, but if you keep him, you have to overpay him because Bradley Beal's going to leave if you don't give him the max money that he's capable of getting. And so that's why Brad Beal has such a big contract, because it's kind of like one of those things. What are you going to do? Not re-sign Bradley Beal? You're just going to let him walk? The same thing with Kyle Kuzma. Kyle Kuzma's turned into a really nice player, but he's gonna get money. He's a 6'8" wing or something like that, 6'9" maybe. He's got good size. There's a lot to like about Kyle Kuzma. He can do. How tall is he? 6'9". So he has great size, and he can score. He can shoot. He can drive. He can handle. He can pass. He can do all these different things. So it's just this really nice player. But you're probably going to have to overpay him. And so you have 2 players that are probably second or third best players on a title team being paid like star money. And so it's just a tough situation for the Wizards. There to do. Thank you, There to do. I appreciate it. So anyways, it's interesting. I imagine they're going to overpay. Or the other question is, do they decide that they want to make a move? I mean, maybe they don't want to pay Kyle Kuzma and they decide to just bottom out, which is something that they might want to think about, because this is a great draft to bottom out with and start over. Although the thing is if you're the Wizards, it's what you've been doing for the last 10, 15 years. You'd like to build upon what you have. And they just signed Bradley Beal not too long ago, so they have him on the books for a while. Kyle Kuzma, is a nice player, and you don't just want to lose a nice player like that. So maybe you just go next year, because they will have rookie contracts next season, and they're looking like they're going to have a good pick again. So I don't know. Being a Wizards fan has got to be pretty tough. I'm not going to lie. It's got to be pretty tough because you're always in the middle. I mean, always in the middle. Where are they in the standings? I mean, they're 12-21, so I guess they are one of the worst teams in the league. Trying to look at the Western Conference. Yeah, they're, but are they going to come out of it with like 7th or 8th pick, which, might be really nice, but they haven't really proven that they're great at drafting. So, pretty tough stuff if you're a Wizards fan. All right, guys, before we talk about the Jazz, let's just talk about Prize Picks. Guys, if you haven't already, go to Prize Picks and sign up. They match up to $100. That's free money. Free money. If you want to go take advantage of all it's the 12 days of Pickmas or Prize Pickmas, Christmas picks, pick your Christmas picks. I don't know. But each day they have something fun going on. If you are thinking about it, it's a lot of fun. Go to Prize Picks, use promo code HoopsNerd. It supports the channel, and they will match up up to $100. So let's say you want to go, you say, hey, next game, I want to bet $10 on Walker Kessler getting 7 rebounds. Yes, that's what the line is at times. It's crazy. Walker Kessler's a rebounding machine, and they've been putting his line at like 7 or 8, and he did 14 tonight. So you see something like that on Prize Picks, and you're like, hey, I'm going to use promo code HoopsNerd. I'm going to spend $10 and I get to play 20, So go do it. Go sign up if you haven't already. It supports the channel. It supports me. I appreciate it. Prize Picks is really fun. Okay, let's talk about the Utah Jazz. This Jazz team is, like we say this every night, but it's a fun team. They play really hard, and there's a lot of players to really like, and there's a lot of directions it can go. I believe the trade deadline's February 9th. I don't know what the Jazz are going to do, but I imagine they're going to just do something to consolidate contracts. We'll talk about that for a second, but first let's just talk about how good Lauri Markkanen is. Holy smokes, plus 22, 21 points. He plays just 29 minutes, 50, 44, 100. Are you kidding me? The efficiency from Lauri Markkanen is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Absolutely fantastic. And so the Jazz absolutely did. There were so many different directions this Jazz team could have gone before the season started. And one of them was, hey, let's get some of these distressed assets from other teams like Collin Sexton and Lauri Markkanen. See what happens if they put them on our team. But, there was the question like, well, maybe Lauri Markkanen's just not that good, and maybe he just gets worse. And maybe Collin Sexton's a bad ball hog and just isn't a winning player and doesn't make people better. Well, turns out Lauri Markkanen is a high-efficiency player, and what we saw in Eurobasket has completely translated. He's looking great, and he just seems to be getting better. And Will Hardy deserves so much credit for this. I mean, he has empowered these players. We begged for years with the former Jazz head coach to empower these teams, empower these players, and he's done it. Another Mountain Dew. This channel is brought to you by Old Mountain Dew. He poisoned himself on live YouTube. Anyways, Lauri Markkanen's turned into something really great, and you have to give so much credit to Will Hardy, who has empowered him. We had that really interesting quote. I don't have it here, and I don't have time to look it up, but that quote by Mike Conley after last game was unbelievable. Because he kind of hinted at something with the Jazz's former head coach. What he said in a nutshell, you can go look it up. I think I retweeted it. Go to my Twitter, go back. But basically he said there was at one point in the beginning of the year where Will Hardy had asked them to go play a zone. And Mike Conley didn't want to play a zone. They didn't think it was working. And Mike Conley was talking to Will Hardy, and it was like a timeout, and they were going to go back out and play. And Will Hardy talks to Mike Conley and says, what do you want to do? Do you want to do the zone? And I guess Mike Conley just was a little surprised and said, no, it's not working. And so they said, let's play man. And they went and played man. And the quote that was interesting is that Mike Conley said it's something along the lines of coaches are different. Some coaches Some coaches just say this is what we're going to do and that's what we're going to do, and some coaches listen and have the humility to listen to their players. And Will Hardy's one of those guys that listens to his players and lets them do. And it also reminded me of that quote. I think it was Michael Porter Jr. that first game when the Jazz played the Denver Nuggets and surprised the Nuggets, or maybe it was the second game. But I remember it was Michael Porter Jr. was talking to Jared Vanderbilt, and Porter Jr. said that Jared Vanderbilt told him how much fun they're having in Utah because they play such an open, free style. And you can just see this Jazz team is so fluid, and they do so many different things. Players are allowed to do what they do best. You know, what is it that you do well? Well, Lauri Markkanen is an efficient scorer. He shoots threes. He can do a little bit of mid-range stuff. We saw them do that little turnaround mid-ranger, which is fantastic. I mean, we can honestly, Lauri Markkanen to me is like a computer that has a few extra hard drive spots, and they haven't been filled yet. And I think there's a few steps he could even make at this point. 21 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist. Only 1 turnover. I mean, he's just turning into such an efficient, high-level player. It's impressive. This is all-star stuff. Jared Vanderbilt, we just mentioned him. You know, he has just 3 points, but he plays 28 minutes because he's playing high-level wing defense. I love the basically Jared Vanderbilt. The V stands for versatile because he can just do everything. He can guard on the perimeter. He can guard. He's not really. I've noticed one thing that he's not great at is he's not really. I mean, at least the eye test, it just doesn't seem like he's a high-level rim protector. But I do think he has some elements of being a weak side shot blocker. So like if Walker Kessler's on the floor and Jared Vanderbilt's playing on the weak side, if that guy drives to the rim, Jared Vanderbilt can come over and possibly block the shot and do some things. He's also he's a good rebounder too. So I love Jared Vanderbilt. The V stands for versatile on this channel, and should be everywhere. Before we talk about Kessler, I'm so excited to talk about Kessler. Let's just talk about Jordan Clarkson. I wrote about it on SLC Dunk. Go to SLC Dunk if you want to read it. But the news that came out earlier today, man, these days are long. It's like 12:05. I don't know when I'm going to sleep because I've got that video. It's almost done. Almost done. I'm going to release it tomorrow. The Christmas present to Jazz fans tomorrow. Watch my Twitter. Watch my NBA channel because that's where I'm posting it. Anyways, Jordan, if you go to SLC Dunk, you can read the article, but Jordan Clarkson is in talks with the Jazz about extensions. Pretty cool. Although it's a little scary too, because Jordan Clarkson is having a monster season and he's only 30, so he's kind of looking for that final contract. He's just like Kyle Kuzma. Next contract is a player option for him. So he can decide to opt out and go. And I think Clarkson makes, or no, Kuzma makes 13. Clarkson makes. Here's 51. I can't do the math fast enough. Oh, he makes about the same as Kuzma. Whoa. That's interesting. But anyways, yeah, about 13 million. Oh, that's crazy. They make the exact same amount. But anyways, Clarkson is evolving as a player. He's worth more than 13 million a year with the things that he does. Clarkson tonight, 41% from the field, but 57% from 3. He took 5 free throws. This stuff is important. He wasn't doing this as much last year and the year before. So he's even getting better, getting to the line more. 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 23 points, and a +6. He's just such an important part of what the Jazz do. He passes the ball. He's got good size. That's the other thing with Clarkson. He's got good size. Like, I love how big he is. He's what, 6'5"? Yeah, 6'5". And the other thing about Clarkson, too, is he just never seems to get tired. Like, he just goes. And he's going to be durable. He's going to play. He's going to be at a high level. And he just is big. And he can score. And he can do literally everything on the offensive end. And so he's probably going to be looking at like 18 to 20 million a year next year. And I bet he opts out. And I bet he asks for a 4-year, $100 million contract. Or, a 4-year 80 at least, right? Probably. I tell you what, it'd probably be a smart thing for the Jazz to do. Why? Because the cap's about to go up. And he's a player you want to hold on to. If this Jazz team is just about winning and then hoping that the Wolves and the Cavs picks hit, then you probably need to think about just making sure you lock up Clarkson, because he is so versatile. And I see him more of as a, he's someone that you can keep on your team for 4 years and he's going to produce. He doesn't have a game to me and a body type to me that looks like he's going to deteriorate, like off a cliff. Like, I think Jordan Clarkson can do what he's doing for the next 3-4 years at least. And so I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. But the scary part about it is in the article, they mentioned that the Jazz are willing to let Clarkson go to free agency. They don't want to do that because then it's a bidding war between multiple teams who want 6'5" guards who can score in a myriad of ways, So if you let him go to free agency, then you're looking at missing out on him. And so the thing is instead of doing that, the Jazz may think about trading him. And I don't want that. Does anyone want that? I don't want that. But what I want less than trading Jordan Clarkson is losing Jordan Clarkson for nothing, right? So basically there's 3 options here. Sign Jordan Clarkson, trade Jordan Clarkson, or let him walk in free agency. And it looks like the Jazz are trying to do number 1. And they really should try, because he is a solid player. And not just that, the personality is great. And I wrote about it too in that article. When this Jazz team was in turmoil last year, guys, there was stuff going on with the coach. There was stuff going on with the players. There was stuff going on in the front office. Everything has been cleaned out, cleared out, washed away, taken down to the studs. And the 2 studs were Jordan Clarkson and Mike Conley. Everyone else is gone. I guess Rudy Gay's back, but he's not good. Nickeil Alexander-Walker's still here, I guess. But the long-term pieces, Jordan Clarkson and Mike Conley, are still here. Everyone else was kind of a short-term thing. Wasn't here for all those years with Mitchell and Gobert. This could have gone weird. It could have gone weird. It could have gone sideways. And I think Jordan Clarkson's personality and leadership and just like locker room presence, whatever you want to call it, the good vibe tribe, whatever, I think that was a big deal. And he's embraced Will Hardy. Mike Conley's embraced Will Hardy. And that's partly because I think Will Hardy just commands the team's respect with his kind of basketball acumen, IQ, intensity, but also his humility and his understanding of players and things like that. And so anyways, you owe a lot of I don't know. Those things matter. And Jordan Clarkson, being this presence in the locker room after such a crappy year. I mean, we got a flavor of that again last game, against the Cavs. Oh, that was a bad aftertaste. And so, things could have gone weird, and Jordan Clarkson has been an integral part of what the Jazz do, and I just think he's worth keeping. Mike Conley has 1 year left after this year, and his contract's pretty big. It's like 22. So I don't know what they're going to do. He's still laboring a little bit. 8 points, 6 assists, 3 for 7, 0 for 2 from 3. That injury really slowed him down. He played 27 minutes, but he looks like he needs the Christmas break. We don't have a game till the 26th, so maybe Mike Conley can get a little rest, and he could also use an all-star break to just kind of get right. Let's see. Malik Beasley has been such a sniper. Look at that, 25 points led the team in scoring. What a pickup that was. The Jazz won the Wolves trade, by the way, guys. The Jazz won the Wolves trade. Malik Beasley is ridiculous. They got Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt, and Walker Kessler. Oh my gosh. And we traded Pat Bev for Taylor Horton-Tucker, who sometimes plays well. Right now he's not, but what a trade. Oh, by the way, sorry, it's 12:15. Leandro Bolmaro was also in the trade. I don't think he's going to be on the Jazz next year, but what an absolutely incredible trade. Oh, and by the way, they own the Wolves franchise for the next 4 years, 6 to 7, with the swaps and everything. It's incredible. It's incredible. And why is it incredible? Let's just give props to Malik Beasley. By the way, Malik Beasley, who has embraced this area as well, and he had that event, I think it was last night, just a free event to go meet Malik Beasley. Pretty cool. He just seems like a great guy, and I love his story, and I'm just happy he's on the Jazz. This is a guy that is probably going to get some interest, though. I mean, he is such a sniper. He's arguably one of the top 15, 20 shooters in the NBA. I mean, when you consider his ability to shoot on the move, with pull up threes, spot up threes, and not just spot up threes where you get the ball and you have your feet set and you shoot. He's able to move and shoot, And so this guy is just such a talented shooter, and that's really valuable. And for teams out there that need that offense, this is it. Malik Beasley is a big part of why the Jazz have like a top 5 offense. When he's putting up this type of stuff on the bench, I mean, look at this. 5 free throws as well. 3 for 7 from 3. Just an absolute sniper. 4 steals for Malik Beasley too. Holy smokes. All right, should we talk about and Collin Sexton came back, and I just wanted to give props to Collin Sexton because I was kind of feeling like, with how Nickeil Alexander-Walker has played. By the way, was a plus 24. He played 21 minutes. So they're keeping him on the floor. He's playing the point guard minutes. Collin Sexton is moving just purely shooting guard, which is good. Great. I mean, this is really interesting stuff. And I guess this kind of plays into what I wanted to talk about. Because we didn't see Kelly Olynyk tonight. And part of the reason is because, well, he's injured, obviously. But Andrew Streeter, 199. Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Give Rudy Gay's minutes to literally anyone else. I agree. Just give him to Fontecchio. I will say this one thing. The reason he plays, and look, +9. I know people get mad at plus minus. It's incredibly noisy. He does play defense. I have a hard time. I was like row 4 or 5. I've been to 2 games this year. Both times I was lucky enough to be really close. And the thing I'll just say about Rudy Gay is he's so big. Like, he is so big. And I know he sucks on offense. He really sucks. Like, really sucks. The reason he plays is defense. That's it. Like, that's it. Because he's not doing anything offensively. I agree. Like, sucks. But this Jazz team is not very good defensively. And Rudy Gay is, he's a positive defensive player. And we've talked about this before. Him combined with Walker Kessler off the bench is one of the best defensive duos in the NBA. It's crazy. It's crazy. Now, would I play my Rudy Gay? Probably not. Because it's just what I get from someone like Simone Fontecchio is really good. We're probably not going to see Rudy Gay once Kelly Olynyk comes back, guys. I mean, I think he's playing because 1, Kelly Olynyk was out, and 2, he at least brings defense. Would you rather play, I mean, honestly, I guess when you look at this roster, you'd probably rather play Simone Fontecchio. I would probably play him more. So that's the only thing I can think is the defense. Otherwise, you're right. It's like not good. It's bad. Now that's me just trying to like see why. And I will say, when you see him in person, he is just Simone Fontecchio is pretty big too. Like, that's the other option. Do you play Fontecchio or Gay? And it looks like Will Hardy's choosing defense. So that's probably why. But you're right. And tonight, I don't even think the defense. I mean, the numbers are bad. Look at that. 1 for 5, 0 for 1. It's just bad. It's bad. So I don't know. I would rather play Fontecchio, but maybe the Fontecchio. I don't know. I agree. Let's see. What was I saying? Oh, just Collin Sexton. It's just nice to see him play. He's able to play next to Alexander Walker, who, by the way, earned rotation minutes, something we didn't see for the last 3 years. You couldn't earn a spot on the roster, no matter how well you played. Well, Nickeil Alexander-Walker played well, and Will Hardy's finding minutes for him. And it's a good thing because 21 minutes. I didn't know if he'd play because of Collin Sexton being back. Well, he played 21 minutes. He actually played more than Collin Sexton. And he was on a minute restriction, but Nickeil Alexander-Walker got legit minutes. Legit minutes. So, and efficiency too. Look at this. Another nice night for Nah. 3 for 6 from the field. He hit both his threes. 4 assists. I mean, he's figuring it out. and he's becoming a long-term piece. And so this brings me to what I kind of wanted to mention. It's time to get a little excited about Walker Kessler, because he played 32 minutes tonight. I think he led the team in minutes. Look at this. Look at that. He's a rookie leading this team, a winning NBA team. So let's go here. Right now, this Jazz team is number 7. And their rookie center led the team in minutes. And that's a team that includes Jordan Clarkson, Lauri Markkanen. Now, this might have been because of foul trouble, but Jared Vanderbilt, Mike Conley, he led the team in minutes. Kessler's really good. He's really, really good. And they got him as a throw-in for Rudy Gobert. Now, Rudy Gobert is a defensive institution unto himself. And I was thinking about it today. I was like, is Walker Kessler just as good as Rudy? No. At least defensively, no. Because Rudy Gobert is just that dominant. But Walker Kessler's pretty close. And I think Walker Kessler can get to that level where he's like the shot blocking's there. He might be a better shot blocker already. I mean, well, probably not. People just don't challenge Rudy Gobert. But at this point in his career, at this age, compared to where Rudy Gobert was at his age and at this point in his career, I'd say Walker Kessler's ahead of the curve with Rudy. That's crazy. Now, I don't know if he can get to where Rudy is defensively because of Rudy's tools. Rudy's tools are out of this world. We all know the size and the wingspan and all that stuff, and how aggressive and competitive Rudy is. But Walker Kessler's the same way. And he is like, I can't get over that he's playing more minutes than anyone. 32 minutes, 5 for 7 from the field, like we said, 14 rebounds, 12 points. I don't know. What I wanted to say is Walker Kessler is probably going to force this Jazz team into some decisions at trade deadline, because when Kelly Olynyk comes back, do you really want to sit Walker Kessler? And they've had nights where Will Hardy has sat Jared Vanderbilt. But we're seeing Jared Vanderbilt do some nice things. He can hit the corner 3. Do you really want to sit Jared Vanderbilt and only play him, 22 minutes? Vanderbilt does so many nice things for you, and he's so versatile. And so and the fact that Vanderbilt is hitting that corner 3 means you can play him with Kessler, and they've started to do it. That's kind of one of the interesting things during this Kelly Olynyk injury, is you start to see things that you probably wouldn't normally get to try. And sometimes that's out of a necessity. Sometimes growth comes because you just had to. There was no other choice. Well, Vanderbilt's looking very confident in that corner 3. Let's see, and let's just look at it. The 3-point percentage is holding strong. I was looking at this. It's actually amazing. 40% from 3 now. This is up from 2 games ago. 40%. And here's the exciting part. Look at this. 3 seasons, he took 0.1, 0.1, 0.2. He is shooting 10 times that amount already. And I know 1.1 doesn't seem like a lot. Well, what is this? 1-3 every 5 games? To go from taking 1-3 every 5 games to taking over 1 a game now? I mean, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. And you can do the math. If you go on this trajectory, he's going to be taking 2 to 3 next season, So maybe you get to the point where he's taking 3 to 5 corner 3s a game, kind of like a PJ Tucker type. And all of a sudden, you've got a guy that can be on the floor with Walker Kessler. And so Lauri Markkanen is doing this. Jared Vanderbilt is growing. Walker Kessler is a rookie. If you can somehow consolidate, maybe you re-sign Jordan Clarkson, maybe you can figure out some sort of trade with Mike Conley and Kelly Olynyk or something like that, and you find something out there. And then in this draft, can you figure out a way to get the replacement for Mike Conley next season? Then you're rolling. You're golden. It's pretty amazing. Or maybe they find it in the draft. Man, could you imagine though? Could you imagine if the Jazz got lucky enough? Like, what if the Wolves just absolutely bottom out and the Jazz got like Scoot Henderson? Wouldn't that be incredible? Like, wouldn't that be amazing? Or can go out and get Amen Thompson or something. This Jazz team is like ready to roll, guys. It's crazy. It's exciting stuff. It's really fun. And by the way, it's just going to keep being fun. Like, this team's going to make the playoffs. Unless they make some drastic trades to try to lose, they're going to make the playoffs. They're just better than a lot of these teams. Like, the Jazz are better than the Kings. They're going to, like, you know, they've beat the Clippers. I don't think they'll really be higher than like the 6th or 5th because the Clippers are on a really high winning percentage. But I could see them being 6th and not even having to play in the play-in, which is pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Unless they make some big time trades. I think the question is, the Jazz did talk about Vanderbilt and Collins. I don't know if that was Atlanta leaking that or if it was Utah, but that was mentioned by Jake Fisher. The one thing is, if you can bring John Collins and he can shoot threes from all over the floor, that works with Kessler a little better because you can just do a little bit more on offense, right? Man, this Jazz team has offense. I mean, they just have options, and they have a wealth of riches. You're going to have Kelly Olynyk back, and, you know, you'd probably rather play Simone Fontecchio. I'm sure they're going to try to trade Rudy Gay for anything, including a bologna sandwich. Whatever they can get for Rudy Gay. You know, the defense is pretty good, but that's it. Everything else is just like, so bad. Maybe we can trade Rudy Gay to the Wolves so they can lose a few more games. So bad. So bad. Anyways, this Jazz team is a lot of fun, and, you know, let's see, look at the standings. The Wolves finally started losing. They're 5-5. Here's some things that are kind of exciting, though. Lakers are going to try to win. They're doing everything they can to win. And there is at no point in this season that they are not going to keep going. Oklahoma City is let's see. They're winning games. Look at this. They've won 3 in a row. Yes, Jazz Cabal, I read the comments sometimes, but I don't know. Sometimes I read them, sometimes I don't. I don't know. Sometimes I eat healthy, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I want to eat popcorn and watch the Jazz game and drink what are these? Major Melons? By the way, these are really good. These are really good. And you know what I did? I drank this. And I ate popcorn out of a popcorn tin that had Santa on it. And that's what I did while I watched the game. So anyways, San Antonio Spurs, they're going to bottom out. Houston's going to bottom out. But these teams are like trying. And maybe Oklahoma City tries to bottom out. But you know what? Things aren't going great for the Wolves. I could see them dropping below these guys. And the same goes for the East. Like, Washington's trying. Chicago's trying. Toronto's going to get better. Atlanta's trying. Indiana's trying. All these teams are trying. They're trying. Oh, by the way, the Hoops Nerd diet plan, Alexander. Can I brag? I benched 205 6 times today, this morning. And my squat is up to 255. I'm going to start having to wear a brace. I know some of you guys are out there putting up 2 plates and 3 plates on the squat. Well, guess what? I'm older. I'm old. But I'm taking my creatine and I'm lifting the weights and I'm getting stronger, okay? Trying to be the hoops nerd, the jacked nerd or something. I don't know. But anyways, I could see the Jazz, that Wolves pick being like a top 7 or 8 pick. And there are great guys in this draft. Let's look. So this Wolves pick right now sits at 13. But like we said, Atlanta's trying. Golden State's trying. They are going to do everything they can to win. Oklahoma City's winning games. They've won 3 in a row. Toronto's trying. They're going to be better than Minnesota. Chicago is trying. They have turmoil right now, but the Lakers are trying too. Like, I could see if things don't go great for the Wolves, that they get like could you imagine if this Jazz gets 6th or 7th spot and then all of a sudden it boom jumps? I mean, I'll lose my mind. And so those are in the cards. The Jazz are too good to tank right now unless they make a move. Unless they like trade all of their best players. They are going to stay where they're at. And they still might do that. Danny still might do that. Especially for next season, because they don't have a pick next season. That's the funny thing too, is Utah doesn't have their pick next year unless they're bottom 10. So unless you don't want a draft pick next year, which maybe they don't care, but I tend to think they do. And like Danny said, kind of like forgot. He's made a comment that next year's draft is better than this year's draft. Oh, well, why would he say that if the Jazz don't have any picks next year? So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. All right. I do not have anything else to say. I'm not going to say anything else. Except for Kyle Kuzma should come play for the Utah. Unless we can get John Collins. Let's get John Collins. Freaking good. He's going to be so good when he moves from that Atlanta situation. I'm telling you. He's going to be so good. If he comes to Utah, he would be so freaking good. It's late night. All right, let's give a shout out, guys, to our All-Stars. Thank you, Alexander. You're proud of me. Thank you. I'm proud of you, my man. Let's see. Guys, if you haven't already, like and subscribe to the channel, by the way. It's right there. Hit the subscribe. Join the channel. You can become one of the All-Stars. You can just support the channel and join. You can also go to Prize Picks and use promo code HoopsNerd. And then that guy, Ben, or whatever his name, from Prize Picks will say, "Good job, James." And I'll say, "Thanks, Ben." Thanks, Ben. Thank you. That's what I'll say. All right, let's give a shout out to our All-Stars tonight. These are the guys that make it happen. Let's give a shout out to Belfort Tufts, Alexander Tufts, Ryan Perry, the legend, Jared Chanderbilt, Shan Therick, Jorge Arrizaga, mi amigo de Baco, Baby Elliott Matson, Jordan the Goat Best World, Just Buckets, JB, Zap Watts, Total Game Domination, TGD, Christian House Money to Haas, Tyson Price, The Price is Right, X marks the spot for Zintas, Joshua Hansen, the Danish Destroyer, Ezekiel Raisibe, the man from down under, Austin R. Grant, editor extraordinaire, Donald schooling all of us, DW to CB, Darren Williams to Carlos Boozer, Patrick Kagubo, the connoisseur, and Robert Hall of Fame. Guys, guess what? It's Christmas in well, I guess tonight's technically tomorrow. But I feel as though it's Thursday, okay? Until asleep and then awake. And then I'm awake tomorrow, and that on my phone will say that it's Friday. So, Friday, Saturday, and then Christmas! I hope you guys get lots of presents. I hope you eat lots of Christmas cookies. I hope Santa comes to your house and brings you whatever you want. For me, it would be a nice trade for John Collins. Oh, yeah. You know what else would be nice? A Lakers pick. Get me a Lakers pick. I want a Lakers pick. Come on, Santa. Bring me a Lakers pick. Take Mike Conley. Take Kelly Olynyk. Win some games and give me a Lakers pick. Give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me. That's what I want. Guys, if I haven't said it already, I think I did. I'm losing my mind. It's a little late. I'm a little tired. I'm a little loopy. Merry Christmas to all of you. Merry Christmas to the Utah Jazz. And a Happy New Year. I will see you guys on the 26th post-Christmas. Santa's coming! Be good! All of you better be good! I'll talk to you next time.